Good day to all my friends and family, and welcome to Jim's 5am Club. And I'm just going to go on a journey. I'm just going to go on a bushwalk here at a little track that I've got close to home. And I want to take some time just to talk to you about a topic that I've got near and dear to my heart. It's a book summary, and the book is entitled Bounce, and the author is Matthew Syed. Matthew Syed, the author of Bounce. And Matthew was a world champion table tennis player who wrote a book talking about how to be a master, how to master things, and how to be the very, very best you can possibly be. And he's got some awesome messages in that book. So what I'll do is I'll turn the camera, and then we'll do a bit of a walk and talk, and I'll turn the camera back once we get further along this track, just so that I don't tread on a snake whilst not paying attention. Anyway, as I mentioned, Matthew Syed is a renowned table tennis champion, and the key point that comes out of this book is that in order to be a leader in your field, it's not important to have talent. It's not important to have good genes. It's not important to have any of that sort of stuff. What he says in his book and what his observations are the most important things of all is the amount of effort you put in. And in his own words, he said that the key message from his work and from his life study on this particular topic, on mastery, is that sustained, purposeful practice is the key. And he comes up with a number. And this number may shock many people, but it may shock them in a good way. The number of hours that one suggests in order to master any field is approximately 10,000 hours. So to become a top violinist, to become a leader in your field in various sports, to become an academic, a professor, you name it. What Matthew suggests is that people need to spend thousands of hours of focused, purposeful practice in order to become or get to a point where they no longer need to think about things, but they come naturally to them because they are acting and behaving at the subconscious level. And he also mentioned something which amazed me. He said that sports people who are brilliant, say for example a brilliant batsman or a baseballer or somebody who's got eye-hand coordination, that has that split-second reflex time. He said that they've done multiple tests on people over the years, and what they came up with is that the reaction time of most people is approximately the same. So a champion batsman isn't faster at doing things. But what Matthew says is that because they've practiced so long and so much purposefully under differing conditions, then what they've done is they've been able to master at the subconscious level the nuances of performance, and they are able to see the bowler coming in and have time to assess subconsciously, of course, not consciously, because you can't do these things at the conscious level because they're too quick and too complex. But what he's saying is that at the subconscious level, what you can do is you can assess the body, the subconscious can assess by very quickly where the ball's going to go, how it's going to be delivered, and based on the nuances of how it's being held, and referring back to all the experience that has been gained from thousands and thousands of hours of practice. I did martial arts for a number of years, and I can attest to the importance of doing simple things over and over again until it becomes muscle memory, so that you're doing it without thinking about it. It just happens. Because if you need to think about it, then it's not going to happen. You're just going to be beat up. You're just going to not have an opportunity to defend yourself and to see danger coming and to respond instantly without thinking. It's all the muscle memory and it's all the reflex action from thousands of hours of practice. So he said that it's more important to focus on effort and not talent. The 10,000 hours came from a person called Gladwell's. It's called Gladwell's assertion, where I think he observed violinists, and he was able to figure out that based on the number of hours, if you spent 6,000 hours, you get to a certain level. If you spent 8,000 hours, you get to a certain level. And if you spent 10,000 hours or more, you'd reach the very pinnacle. So that a person on 6,000 hours probably would never be as good as a person who's done 10,000 hours of focused and purposeful training. When I was growing up, the talk was, practice makes perfect, but it's not the case. Matthew Syed lets us know that it's purposeful practice, it's structured practice, it's practice which is practice at a very high standard, which allows you to go beyond your comfort zone time and time again in order to become better and better and better, and to be constantly and never-ending improving through stress testing all your skills. So the lesson is very simple to all the young people out there, and also to us oldies, that you need to go deep into deep, sustained immersion. And there's no such thing as an overnight success, because sorry, I just had a bit of a distraction there. Thought it was a snake or something, but yeah, I'll keep on talking. And the other thing that comes out of this book, which is really important and useful, is that it's important to understand how you label yourself and how other people label you, because expectations play a very big role on how people take on practice. Because if you're a child prodigy, if you're considered to be somebody who's got high ability or high aptitude, then many times people just relax, back off, saying, well, look, I've got the natural talent, I'll get there. But and similarly, people who are told or say to themselves, who are told that they're klutzes and they're not going to be very good at anything, they just give up before the opportunity arises. So it's a double whammy. So the expectations that you place upon yourself and the expectations that other people foist upon you will have an impact on how you go about training and whether or not you're going to give it the best shot and get to where you want to get to. And he also says that people who have got high potential are also the sort of people who don't exert themselves or don't apply themselves all the time, because they live in a fear of being found out. So they're not going to volunteer at every opportunity. Whereas a person who is trying to be the best he possibly can and just wants to grow and develop will welcome every opportunity to practice or to benchmark and baseline their capabilities against others and use that feedback in terms of growing and developing. So it's a very important point that performance is aligned to our expectations, not only to our expectations, but the expectations that others convince us of. So a very big lesson for parents and children and coaches, of course. Let's turn it around. So to become a master, you need to perform at the unconscious level, because the conscious level won't get you there. It's got to be, it's got to be an automatic process where you, at that split second, you need to be able to make the right decision based on practice, based on intuition, based on your subconscious, and smack that ball out of the park. And here's an interesting one. Here's a really interesting one. I love this one here. He said that choking, we hear the term choking all the time, where people are leading or people are going really, really well in a competition, especially golf. Poor old Greg Norman was described by many as a choker. But the author says that choking is when the conscious brain tries to take control of the situation, and the learned observation that most people have about this is that the conscious brain doesn't have the capability to work that quickly. It's got to be gut feel. It's got to be automatic response. If you've got to think about something, then chances are in a tough, competitive situation, you may not have the time to make the right choices. And the next thing that the author talks about is doubt, self-doubt, and doubt that other people infect you with. He said that doubt is dangerous and very contagious. Once you start doubting yourself, or once other people start doubting you, then that is a virus worse than COVID-19, and something which is going to be very, very destructive and disruptive to the normal person. And the call to action, there are lizards everywhere here, just popping out everywhere, so I'm on edge because I did see a snake here one day. I was walking through here at about this time of day, and I came across a red-bellied black snake, which scared me. So I'll just keep an eye out. I've come to the pond, which is a place where the snakes love to frequent. But let me just get it in the background and continue chatting away. It's peaceful here. I can just relax and just absorb and take it in. This is my bolt hole. I'll just extend the pole a bit to get a bit more area. So what else can we talk about? He makes a very, very good point about the fact that we are controlled by our subconscious and conscious, but we need to be, and he makes this really strong point, and I love it. This is a cracker of a point. And for those who want to grow and develop, those who want to go beyond their capabilities in every area of their life, you need to pay attention now Because what we're saying here is that you need to believe. You need to believe strongly and set expectations, but you need to believe beyond. Listen to me, look at me in the eyes. You need to believe beyond logical justification. You need to be a person who is irrationally optimistic. So you've got to fake it until you make it, and you basically got to believe and just mute all the negativity which is around you. And you've got to be comfortable in pushing well past the comfort zone time and time again. And the other last point that I want to make is a wonderful point, and it's about the plasticity of the brain, the human brain. The human brain is big, and it has the ability to grow, to think, to feel, to conceptualize, and do many, many wonderful things which put us at the top of the animal world and enable us to be one with God. But what they say is that the brain has a plasticity where the more you push it, the more you challenge it, the more you stimulate it. That's the word, stimulate. The more you stimulate your brain through curiosity, through cajoling, through pushing, through creating expectations, through measurement, through setting baselines to see where you're at, and then comparing your baseline to a benchmark where other people are at, and then steadily improving from your baseline to reach the benchmark, and then exceeding that benchmark and setting yourself a new baseline and a new benchmark amongst your sport is the key. So stimulation. Don't just sit around and wait for things to happen in your life. You need to search, and you need to contribute to yourself and other people's stimulation. Children as well, in order to grow and develop, because the brain needs to be stimulated to grow and develop. And the more you use your brain, just like the muscles in your body, the more you use it, the more it will grow, develop, and stay vital and serve you. And just finishing off here once again, he just makes the point once again that genetics are irrelevant. Talent is overrated. So the keys for outstanding performance are that magical 10,000 hours, and once you hit that mark, then mastery is within reach. Anyway, let's finish off with a positive affirmation. I'm alive, I am well, and I feel absolutely great. To my friends and family, stay connected, stay relevant, and most importantly, let's take some lessons out of this wonderful book by Matthew Syed called Bounce, and put in the effort. Whatever you do, put in the hours. Generate curiosity. Be a leader in your field in terms of research. And the beautiful thing is we've got the internet at our fingertips. You know, we don't need to rely on uncles, aunts, grandparents, cultures, other people to help us, physically help us, or support us from a family perspective. A lot of this information is available on Google, so you don't have to go to a library like we used to go to in the old days. It's available to you on Google. You just need to be careful in terms of what you use and how you use it, because there's a lot of BS out there on Google as well. A lot of stuff that is politically motivated and has a spin on it, so be careful. Use your critical thinking is all I can suggest, but work hard, understand the rules, understand the nuances, and become a leader in your field, and live, learn and pass it on. So I guess that's it for today. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll start heading back before it gets too dark and I'm locked out and I don't know how to get out of here. But thank you once again for joining me on Jim's 5am Club. And it's a wonderful book. Matthew Syed is a great author and very thought-provoking. But he's talking from experience. He's not talking from theory. He's talking from his own experience. And as I said, he's a world champion in his discipline, and he got there through thousands of hours of practice. And we all have 164 hours a day to dedicate to whatever we want to dedicate it to our spirituality, to our fitness, to our education, to a particular talent. And if you have a level of OCD that enables you to do thousands and thousands of hours of purposeful, deliberate practice, then the world is your oyster. Anyway, I think I'll leave it there. Yasas, Sasagapao, from Jim's 5am Club, and tomorrow I'll come again to you from another location with another message. Don't know what it'll be, but it'll be something that'll hopefully lift us and get us through the day. Take care and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Yasas. Bye.